when you get a little Katrina in the waves, is it not?
Oh, good pull.
We're going to talk about sunshine.
Good knowledge, as they say in sports radio.
In the Sunshine State. Yesterday, if you recall, we heard from one of our guests that Florida is among the top 10 markets when it comes to job creation. Some of that happening certainly in the real estate space. We want to talk about the Florida real estate market. Matt Weaver is Vice President at Finance of America Mortgage, right here on site at the Pershing Insight 16 Conference. Welcome to Bloomberg Radio.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here. Talk to us about the real estate market here in Florida. It's been boom, bust, boom. Where are we?
Well, it's been straight boom. I can tell you that the market has been on fire really since 2009. One of the biggest challenges is low inventory. So in a lot of the major markets here...
Even after all that building leading up to the boom, there still was a lack of inventory.
There still is a lack of inventory, which creates a little bit of buyer frustration. What ends up happening is that when a buyer finds a home that they love, there may be more than one offer on the house. So the question just becomes, how prepared are they? Just like in any competition, as it relates to sports, in home buying right now, he who is prepared will win the offer. So it's all about getting prepared.
So what kind of, I'm in this real estate market in Silicon Valley. I'm sort of between Silicon Valley and New York City, two insanely hot markets as well. But at least in San Francisco, the way you buy a house is bizarre. I mean, you have to come in with dropping conditions, with cash offers, with your financing really set just to even compete to get the chance to buy a house, and bidding often way over ask, which has kind of been the trend for the last few years. What's it like here? And when I say here, what market in particular are you in here?
So I'm out of the Boca Raton market, so the South Florida market, right. Palm Beach, Broward County, and so on.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that it's all about being prepared from the beginning. And what happens is if that you are a borrower, if you're getting financing, mortgage-related offers, what you want to do is you want to get pre-approved the right way from the beginning. You want to sit down with a mortgage professional, get all your ducks in a row, so when you do make that offer, you're prepared. Now,
what's the wrong way?
The wrong way would be a lot of lenders are pointing home buyers to online applications, quick approvals without verifying documentation. So what happens is if someone is prepared, has all their documentation reviewed, and they're going up against another offer that really doesn't have any of their documentation reviewed, then that buyer can actually shorten their time frame. So for example, fast closing dates, quick loan commitment dates, because they had all the information prepared and reviewed by a lender in advance. So it's really important, and I've been working hand in hand with real estate agents for years, really dating back to 2010. Our market has been in this multiple offer environment.
Matt, we've spent a lot of time focusing on Janet Yellen this week. Of course, she gave a speech, and it seemed to allay fears of an interest rate hike anytime soon, and certainly not at that June meeting. You obviously have to watch that in terms of the impact on mortgages. Will a little bit of an uptick, whether it's one or two moves maybe this year, still by the Federal Reserve, impact your business?
Well, data points to, in the immediate, it's going to increase buyer activity. It's going to really take people off the fence.
You really see that happen, do
We do see that happen.
Yeah.
That's correct. Now, it's important for people to know that rates are, again, still really at an all-time low.
Right.
What's interesting
Historic low, yeah, it's amazing.
Historic low. And what's interesting is that it's important for folks to realize that a 1% increase in interest rate can reduce buying power by 10%. So if you think about that, just a 1% increase, so a house for $300,000 would cost you the same at $270,000 if interest rates rise by 1%. So it's important to know
there are houses for $300,000.
There are houses for $300,000. The median sale price in Palm Beach County is $220,000, actually $227,000, really? Right around that range.
Who's buying right now?
Who is buying? A lot of first-time home buyers, of course, they're entering the market space. Now they're getting a little priced out as market continuously increases, but there's a lot of loan programs that are catered to the first-time home buyer. A lot of jumbo mortgages are happening right now, loan amounts in excess of $417,000. A lot of the big banks are gearing towards that market. Interest rates, amazingly, are lower for jumbo loans in some cases than regular conforming loans, the loan amounts at $417,000 or less. So overall, lending is doing really, really well, and it's making it really exciting for people to get in.
What product's hot right now? What are people tending to borrow?
Well, on the first-time homebuyer front, of course, FHA is a popular product. It accounts for about 30% of our market, so extremely popular.
And that's 30-year fixed.
30-year fixed, 15, and so on. The guidelines are much more liberal. Of course, it's insured by the federal government.
Right.
Also, there's a conventional program with as little as 3% down. There's been a big announcement on some of the big banks releasing that program. That's really geared towards that first-time home buyer as well, up to a $417,000 loan size. The jumbo market, jumbo mortgages, are still a little tough to get. The requirements are pretty stringent, but nonetheless, if you do qualify, the rates are amazing.
What are the requirements like?
A lot of typically reserve requirements. So even after you close and purchase on the home, you'd have to have at least anywhere between 6 to 12 months worth of reserves in an account.
Wow.
Very high credit score requirements. So unlike, let's say, the 417 loan sizes or less that can actually go down to the 620 credit score, jumbo financing really ends at around 680.
What happened to the foreign buyers in the market? What happened to private equity in the Florida market?
That's a great question. We're really seeing that really freeze up and kind of hold.
Both foreign and private equity?
Both foreign, I can tell you, from that front. The Miami market, I think, is starting to feel that. And I think we're going to see, and we're probably already seeing, a little bit of price correction in the Miami market because of that foreign buyer being at a halt.
Why is it at a halt?
Well, because a lot of the exchange rates coming out of the foreign countries have adversed themselves. And,
Stronger dollar making it tougher? Or?
That's correct. And if we look at the Miami-Dade market, the transactions have accounted for somewhere in the range of 70% cash purchases, which primarily was the foreign national buyer. So the good news is that there's really no debt virtually on all these properties. The challenging part is that if they want to go ahead and exit out of these properties, they have the ability to take a price reduction, which I think we'll start seeing a price reduction already in Miami.
There's also the scrutiny from the Justice Department of these all-cash deals from foreign buyers and others. What has the effect been in the marketplace?
Well, we haven't seen too much of an effect on that. I know that there's a lot of regulations in play, so it's a question of, are they getting their ducks in a row before purchasing? That's more on the legal side of the piece of it, and not necessarily on the lending side. But I can assure you that it certainly has harbored some buyers to come into the marketplace.
But it hasn't affected prices yet.
Well, I think we're seeing anywhere between a 5 to 10% correction in the Miami market as we speak.
Typical deal that goes down, just got about 10-15 seconds here.
Typical deal that goes down, you're going to have your run-of-the-mill $350,000 purchase. You can put down as little as 3%. The market's hot. Rates are amazing. It's the perfect recipe to get in. It's a perfect time to buy and sell.
Alligator free?
Alligator free. You got it.
Matt Weaver, Vice President
that might cost you
of Finance
$400
of America Mortgage, right here on Bloomberg Radio.